Good evening. You're listening live to the Extreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob, broadcasting to you from the Pinellas Palace, just west of Orlando, Florida. I have with me from the Great Midwest here in the Extreme Studios on the hotline from the Great Midwest RDV. Tonight, we're continuing our coverage of Miami Vice Season 1, Episode 5, Calderone's Return, Part 2, directed by Paul Michael Glaser, who plays a great dickhead.
Right?
RDV, this is a two-parter. I don't remember on the original cast if it was a movie or not. So if those of you that are watching this in America on Tubi, I think it's episode 6 or might be 6 on DVD or Blu-ray. I don't know. All I'm going to say is I think by now we've established how in the first few episodes we had the whole Calderone movie bit. We've had a few episodes that have introduced some of the other side characters, but not a lot, but enough. Went into Sonny's backstory. Now, to me, this whole episode, the resolution of the main cocaine guy in Miami, Calderone, with the awesome first part of the episode with the sniper guy we can't say enough good things about. This is a very subdued part 2, and not in a bad way, I think. And it's really a story about Tubbs, I think. What's your take on this episode?
Well, the intense action was in the first half of this story because it is a two-part story that's split into two. So
this is like anticlimactic resolution.
So they're really letting you know that this is actually, even though we have more detectives, but it's actually just it's Tubbs and Sonny. This is their show. Everyone else is the side characters. You know, these guys are ride or die. And so we had with Calderone going as a hitman after Sonny. That was Sonny's episode, was last episode. This week's episode, it is Tubbs' turn to shine because Tubbs is the guy, he's the ladies' man. So Tubbs goes in, and he comes across this girl, well, first of all, for the first scene here, I want to say, before we get to it, I really enjoy a lot of Michael Mann's, his camera work here, techniques, really appreciating it, the past couple of episodes, but I think it's just getting better and better with each episode,
well, don't forget that this is the first real episode, and then we get the first real theme. We're getting some creative shots and all that, no matter who the director is. This feels like the first official episode.
Yes, and James Edward Olmos, I think he is credited in this episode, or is it next episode?
I think it's next episode.
Yep. But we just had Lieutenant Rodriguez. He's dead. So it's.
He took a bullet for Sonny.
Yeah, so we get the bad guy from the previous episode, the informant guy, and they pull him in off the streets, and you see him in there, and this is how it starts off. He's sitting there, he's holding his glass, and they slowly start pulling water in from above the scene, and they're like, okay, he's holding, and like, what is going on here? This is kind of weird.
Well, so let me back up here. 20 plus years ago with George Bush and all that, it's the first time I really heard about waterboarding. Now, I've seen a lot of torture, like from Charles Bronson movies and stuff in the 70s, like the mechanic and the executioner and all that. So I've seen people like have their nipples electrocuted, their feet in water, They
put a towel over your face and they pour water at,
the waterboarding. That's when it became mainstream, right? So think about this being 15, 20 years earlier, because that to me is what this is symbolizing, right? Not only that, we're torturing you mentally by pouring you water and then giving it to you.
The thing is, though, you don't know
illegal cop stuff that they would do, right?
The thing is, when you first open this scene, you don't know what's going on. You just see a guy getting water poured in his glass. It's like
that's what makes it uneasy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks nervous.
He's like, okay, and he's just holding my glass. It's like, is this a commercial for champagne beer?
Designer water commercials in the 80s.
It's like, if we hold this for water, it's like, and it smacks on his hand, and it's like, the next thing, it's like, you don't want that crap, you want beer.
Smacked it right out of his fucking.
I know, I mean, it's a glass cup, so I'm expecting glass to fly at him. We have him cuts in his face, stuff, immediately, and then we see it's like, oh, it's Tubbs.
Tubbs ain't fucking around. Look at that, he's an animal.
He wants Calderone, because he got last episode, saw this guy was in a photograph with Calderone that he was in the Bahamas. And now this guy, he wants to know, hey, where is he? And the guy's like, well, it's like, I don't really know. He's in the Bahamas. Like, he could be, and he's just, and behind him, I love this. They cut Crockett. Crockett's just going to zoom out. And you see him in there. And he's just like, it's like, you better tell him what he wants to know. When he flies off the handle, I can't really hold him back. It's like, I love the good cop, bad cop. I love it. It's so great,
But it's not over the top that you get in like T.J. Hooker, which to me is just a pure entertainment. But a lot of TV shows, even today, they portray the cops as tough guys and stuff like that. And in today's society, that stuff doesn't fly.
Yep. Well, now criminals have more rights than victims do.
Yeah, it's just different.
So you see him, he's sweating there now. He's got the water in his arm. He's just like, oh shit, I love it. Like there's the zoom in, zoom out, on focus in, focus. And we immediately go back to, here's this photo of you. No, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's him in the middle. I don't know who the guy on the left is, but and then there's the woman right there, and it's. And they just keep interrogating him, and I love these. Like in the side profile, all the camera angles are necessary because it's just so unique.
You feel like you're 2 inches away from them arguing. That's how you feel it. In addition to his acting,
you feel the breath on your face, literally. And I'm just thinking, like, I've never seen this in a cop show where they're that close like this, the camera angles like that, and just it. Of course, it also the next scene we got them standing up over the guy. It's like. First thing I thought is like, okay, we're Boondock Saints when they put the gun at the guy's head, they're gonna execute him. They're looking down.
Mm-hmm.
I love those angles like that.
Well, so it is because it is. You're looking up at the heroes and down at the little paltry peon villain guy. He's not really a villain. He's just a nobody, right?
No, he's an informant that he works for Calderone, and they're trying to squeeze him because they want revenge. For what Calderone said a headman against, Crockett, and then Tubbs, for he still wants Calderone for his brother's death. And he's hell bent on it now. So they kind of leave the guy to kind of sweat. And then we get the scene here. And it's like, this is the most 80s thing here. So it's like,
you could print that and sell it at an auction right now.
As a magazine ad.
Man staring at wall.
Yeah.
1984 or 85, let's say. Somebody would buy it.
Fuck the banana. We got a man who's staring at a wall and a chair behind him with no one standing it, sitting in it. And then, So,
but it also conveys what happened, because people you read, most people read from left to right, top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
And so your eyes kind of go, okay, well, your brain I think fills in the blanks. It goes, okay, Crockett was here. This is where he's going. Tubbs must have been there. Now they're out the door. So you already sense them moving out there, and it's a nice way to end the scene. It's great. This is the cinematography that we're talking about that's different than regular television at the time. Even though you had great shows like Hill Street Blues and other things in the 70s or whatever like that, this is just a little different because this just fucking looks great, man.
Yep. So then, of course, we zoom out again. We're back on
stand-in chief.
Yeah. So stand-in chief talks to Tubbs like, "Hey, Tubbs, I know about what he did to your brother," and he the sharp. And I love Tubbs just goes right into this like stance, transfer here,
this look he has down cold. I don't know what to call it.
Killer.
Cobra. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know.
Traumatized, PTSD. He's pretty much into that thing. You got that killer like a Michael Mann a soundtrack from Manhunter. It's kind of like playing the shrill noise.
Maybe. Yeah. This is like a psychic stare. That's all I'm going to say right now.
He's like, and the guy's like, it's like, hey, I'm sorry about your brother. And he's like, you better my brothers, now I'm going to, now remind me, now I have to kill him. And immediately to the boat.
Yep.
We're going to Bahamas to go kill him. So it's like, anytime you're gonna see this with the boat here, this is going to be shown like 30 million times throughout the series. And from different angles, them riding in the boat. Because they have to go somewhere, or they, I love it. So, and then exchange to show more of like this the boat, or that they probably were renting, so they had to use it for to promote it. Yep. And then we get into they're arriving in the Bahamas, which at first I was a little confused. I'm like, hey, is this the same dock that they use for where Sonny lives?
Oh, Miami? No. And
it almost looked like it at first. I was like, until I realized, oh no, they're in the Bahamas now. And I was like, okay, but I'll take it for those who are on here. watching on the. We are live on the basically the. What you want to call it?
Cell phone stream.
So for the vertical and the horizontal. For those on horizontal, I love looking at this. It says deep sea fishing. And so it's like man, in trip, eat your fish you catch, I wonder if that actually was a real business or just a prop they put in there.
Oh, I believe it was probably real.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I wonder how many people like called that number.
Oh, that would be where they put in the TV number, the 555, whatever. That's the fake number and stuff like that too. Yeah, that stuff's screened usually in editing.
Yeah. Just call 30244. So I mean, whatever that number that is, that's in the Bahamas. So, but yeah, it's like So yeah, I like that. So I'll put it back on there, and then we'll go to the next slide here. It's like, so then we get Paul Michael Glaser's basically directing this. If you don't know who he is, check out Aliens and all those movies. Check out Man About You. He most recently was in the second season, I think it was, of the series The Boys.
God, so Paul Michael Glaser, he's a guy that, there's certain guys that like we always say this is my Michael Mann, right? Mm-hmm. He had creative control over it, so he had his writers and directors do stuff the way he wanted, but he would be the one to change it to Miami Vice. He's the one that would do whatever. Yes. He's the one that made it seem like a film. So Paul Michael Glaser is one of those guys that you go, okay, like he's a talent, but like if you look at Alan Rickson currently on Reacher, he plays the lead guy. He was in Blue Mountain State, but now he's into production and stuff. So he's trying to do more than just be an actor, and you see some people doing it. Paul Michael Glaser is one of those guys from the 80s that definitely has a name for it. And he's been involved in a lot more stuff than you would think. And I remember him on a small TV show having to do with like coaching tennis, believe it or not, or something like on Netflix or something years ago or whatever. I'm like, what the hell is he doing on this for? Well, it's what he wants to do. Good for him, right? So he's done a lot and he's good at what he does. And if you haven't seen him and stuff, guys, go look at what he's done.
So
he's got great stuff.
We also have two writers in here. We have Joel Surnow, and then we also have Alfonse Ruggiero Jr. Alfonse is actually started off with a 1984 movie called Heartbreakers with Jerry Hardin. He was as an actor in that. Then he moved behind the camera for the story editor for Miami Vice's first season, as well as writing for the series Airwolf. So he's a story editor. Yeah, I did even on the Wise Guy, and he has two of the tech war sci-fi movies, Mutant X. He did that, and then he did a Necessary Journey in 2009. I think Joel Surnow was the one who just did the episode previous, though. Yeah, he did part one, and so we talked about him before. He's the creator of Love on Nikita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it says it was interesting to see we have two writers on here. I was like, two writing credits. I'm like, I don't like that because it's like when you get two directors, that's how we got that horrible Justice League through DC movie, because you had one director start it and another one came in and finished it, and it was like light and dark. It was weird. So I always cringe when I say like, wait, there's two writers on here. It's like, oh no, because sometimes they like take creative liberties and change it a little bit. And it's like, no, but anyway, moving on. Our boys meet their contact in the Bahamas. He's a Pirates fan.
I'm getting Paul Glaser mixed up with Paul Reiser. God damn it! I apologize. That was bugging me. Anyway,
Reiser?
Yeah.
Which one is Paul Reiser again?
He's the alien's asshole.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? I kept getting.
Okay, yeah. You know what? You're
I was like, wait a minute, is that right? Glaser's not right.
I didn't think so. It was either too, but I mean, like, it sounded fair. Paul Glaser. What did he do then?
He's done a lot. But anyway, continue.
Paul Michael Glaser. All right. Continue on. They meet their contact. He suddenly is like, yeah, it's like, where it is, Cardone's, he's stationed out. There's a boat here, and he's got this girl he's always seen with, and like, okay, she's always painting by the beach and stuff. So he's like, okay. Tubbs is like, cool, I call dibs on the girl.
Yeah, because the whole plot is fairly simple, right?
Yeah.
They're going to the Bahamas. They don't really have the backing there. They're going to talk to the police chief who knows who they are just to let them know what's going on. And this guy, I like this guy's story. He's like, yeah, I was here on spring break during a party, and I just kind of never went back, because that's totally believable, right? The life's down here in Florida.
Yeah.
and he's posing as the assassin that we raved about before in the last or the first part of this two-parter, right? Last episode, and all that to collect the remaining payment due from the hits that were put on that list, where Sonny was like number 8 or number 9 or
Do you
whatever
know
too.
Paul Michael Glaser? Okay, so he was roommates with director Bruce Paltrow from 1943 to 2002, father of actress Gwyneth Paltrow. Then he made his acting debut on TV soap Love is a Many Splendor Thing, followed by TV Spears' A Love of Life, Kenan, The Streets of San Francisco, The Waltons, Kojak, Rocket Files, Joe Santos, after which he received his first starring role as David Starsky.
Starsky Hutch, baby. Yep.
Yeah, that's who he is. I'm like, I know he's from something. Okay, so he's from Starsky and Hutch.
Yep.
So Starsky's correct as
directed.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, the point is 70s you might consider the apex of television in the United States.
Wow.
With the writing and all that kind of stuff. But it's also where, even though I mentioned the Wild Wild West, with James West and Artemis Gordon, I think it is, as being like good buddies, like Sherlock Holmes and Watson. The buddy, I don't want to say buddy cop because we think of a comedy like Lethal Weapon, but this is just two equal level cops are just different. It's not one subordinate to the other.
No,
they exactly. Glaser knows exactly how to film this and shoot it because he shot the shot meeting an informant somewhere in a strange land many times before in all those shows, right?
Before there was Lethal Weapon, there was Miami Vice.
And you asked the question last week, I thought it was interesting, about who the hell is Robert Conrad? And I was like, bite your tongue, you young whippersnapper. He was the lead guy in Cannon, and he's in the Radio Hall of Fame, I think. The guy that was a stud back in the day, especially with his voice, they know cop shows and all that. So Glaser's got a great pedigree to bring to Miami Vice. These are not noobs being handed a 10-episode run and $500 million like on Amazon the way it is today. Yeah.
Right. Then we move on to, get this nice shot from behind, I love it. Even though he's in town, he's on business, and they know he was a cop. He's just lounging back because that's what he does.
Let me ask you this. Did you think during this exchange here that Sonny believed that that guy was crooked? It seemed really obvious to make eye contact and stuff. He was trying to not give it away that, hey, I know you're crooked.
I think Sonny, when it comes to Calderone, he knows that people are bought and paid for. Okay. Especially on this, the guy was being a little bit vague, but he wasn't really sure yet. So, but Sonny always takes everything, with a grain of salt. That's his kind of character. He always has a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't really trust anybody. He trusts Tubbs, But outside of that, in his line of work, you kind of really can't trust him 100%. And okay, so they're in a foreign country.
That's right.
So he's also on his best behavior. So he's trying to get to play by their rules, whatever, until they have to change, So, of course, so after that, while he's meeting with the cop here, the chief, getting information about, Calderone, we see our boy Tubbs approaching the girl on the beach. He walks up there. He's like, hey, what's up, girl? You paint something? Can I see it?
Man, this feels so much like a movie or whatever like that. She's beautiful. She's doing her thing.
It feels like James Bond almost.
It does, doesn't it? It reminds you of like him with Ursula Andress, up there on the beach in the very first movie, Dr. No, or
you click
other ones like that too.
Yeah,
where he's not. He's going to extract information, but the chemistry and the connection there is real. But he's using it for what he needs. It's exactly what he's trying to do. So now he sees her in person for the first time, and he's got to make it work. That's his thing. So, what do? You show your gold chains, and you show your manly chest hair, your rug, and all that too. And you speak in your very soft, sexy voice like this. That's that woos the ladies and all that too, because she's obviously this guy's girlfriend, and so he's got to figure out an angle to kind of get to it. So he's playing it all off he's just playing it by ear as he gets out here. This is what's beautiful about it.
After she leaves, she goes on the yacht. They know it's the binoculars because basically Crockett was hiding in the trees back there and stuff, and he sees that Calderone's on the boat. So they obviously he says, hey, your girlfriend really is connected with him, so you gotta keep playing. And he's like, I don't mind it. He's like, yeah, but don't get too attached. You know.
Yeah. Did you see what happened though when she went to go leave, when they're flirting with each other or talking? Because being approached by a complete stranger in a remote
She
area,
was smiling, you know, she's flirting back with him.
yeah, but it wasn't slutty. It wasn't, you know,
no,
like
no,
whatever.
no.
But
She was kind of
it's the
innocent.
classic, it's the classic thing where she left, and she, you know, she goes, the people on the boat come and get her, and they take her and all that, and he's watching her. She accidentally, with air quotes there, left that little piece of jewelry or whatever it was on the ground. Did you catch that?
Yep.
Because that comes into play later.
Yes, and as far as back at the hotel after this, you know, Crockett sees a obituary in the paper. You know, he sees his obituary in the Miami paper. You know, and then Jimbo delivers a message, their contact. The Calderone's people want to meet and settle this payment. So he posing as Armstrong's. He ends up, you see, Crockett meets with the bad guy. You know, here. You know what's going on, and
this is the money exchange where he's like, "Yeah, here's your money," and he's like, "It's not good enough." You know, I didn't know it would be Sonny Crockett, so you know, this is good stuff. I like this scene, and it feels creepy because I think this was filmed not in South Florida. Maybe it was, but it doesn't feel like it. And look at the wet table. This is the Michael Mann effect, right? Let's wet everything before we do it. And shoot it later in the day.
I love this because it reminds you of the hat and the clothes he's wearing. From the angle here, he kind of looks like Michael Douglas in *Romancing the Stone*.
Well, that's the South Florida Central American kind of look there with the linen shirt, cotton shirt, whatever, and the hat. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then So then while this is going on, we got our boy finds out that she teaches some classes here, and he's all stalking her. He's like, "Hey, girl, watch you from a distance," and she's like, "Oh shit, this guy's here."
Look at the way this is shot. She's sitting there in the center around the small kids on an impoverished island or whatever like that. She's a do-gooder. She's an idealist.
Yeah,
right?
It's like
she's trying to do a good thing in the world.
Yeah, it's
without
like
preaching it or whatever like that.
It's she's like Angelina Jolie.
Who? Stop.
No,
I know.
You know, or Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. No, so I always thought it was kind of weird. It's like, I mean, in reality, it's like I saw this guy on the beach, but then I see him like stand out there teaching the kids. Like, this guy's stalking me.
She wants it. She's intrigued. He's a man.
Of course, she's intrigued. You know,
which is not something she gets to see all the time in her situation.
Yeah. Well, she's always watched bodyguard stuff, so they go talk behind the scene.
Exactly. And he was proper. He wasn't. They both know what's up, but he's being classy about it.
So. This after the meeting here, you know, after the drug meeting stuff, you know what's going on there. You see Calderone hanging out on his yacht here. He's got his fork in his food, you know.
Yeah, they're using food, which is great. And I want to ask you, because this guy looks just real slimy. In a way, when I saw this, I wanted to ask you what your opinion of Calderone was, because we only saw him briefly, right? And I don't think he spoke. He drove off or whatever, right?
No,
Here, he just seems like an average dude that you would see, you know, in your local store or whatever like that here in Florida or like that, that's ethnic or whatever like that. He's not a tall guy. They're not playing dramatic music. He's not surrounded by disgusting displays of wealth like on 110th floor of a building with everything is gold or any of that kind of fantasy ass bullshit. This is very effective by them just not doing anything other than like, yeah, this is how it is. I think it's great. I think the guy just
comes out pretty sleazy, you know, with his chain here and stuff.
His teeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before he was kind of like skittish a little bit. He didn't really. He had no facial expression.
That's a good call. Here he's alive. He's not just a figure.
Yeah. You know, he's out of the harm's way. He's in his own territory now. You know, so he gets word, and hey, Crockett's alive. You know, it's like, you know, because they saw him at the Diehl stuff. And then after that, you know, the guy, and I love this. I include this scene here because you see him thinking, you know, after he told the guy basically don't go kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the symbolism, the fork in the food.
Yeah, stick a fork in it. It's done, baby. Boom, put that down. Exactly.
And foreshadowing. I love it.
And also, he's deep in thought. He's contemplating what's going on. I love this pose. This is so stupid, but you have to do something here, right?
Yeah.
I liked it. And he's never looking at the camera or anybody directly, like, you know, that too. He's always lost his thought.
He's got his $20 lobster. $20 lobster.
It's probably fresh though.
because somebody dropped it in the water. Got it fresh.
This is a great little shot here. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. So So of course, so we got the Duke boys were being chased in the car, and they end up going off the pier.
I admit this is the worst scene of the episode to me. This felt like the Duke boys. It's like, really, they're going to evade the shootout and the bad guys, the only action sequence we have, by kind of allowing themselves to drive their car into the waters just so they can swim away. It just, I don't know, man. I felt like it was forced in there.
Yeah,
like,
so the bad guys pull out. They have these masks on, which you'll see later at the party. You know, like you usually see at the Day of the Dead, everywhere is the costume party stuff.
Right.
So this is on the aftermath of like the town after destroying their everything, and you're like, oh, not too bad. You think the cops will be bad? No, they'll be fine. You know, cops show up, and it's like, and they're just kind of like, and they're sitting there like, oh shit, no, here comes the popo, and the guy's like, "What tarnation did you boys do?" No, not just kidding. He tells them, "You know what? You guys should probably go home because it's Calderone got word. Calderone he left. He got filled up and he's gone. He could be anywhere. You should just go." And the boys at this point have their magically dry clothes and don't trust them anymore.
I love this scene here as far as dialogue because to this point, Sonny's for the most part invisible and not in a bad way. He basically this is the fish out of water, not just that they're literally out of the water, no pun intended, but him saying to him where he goes, he kind of turns his back to the cop and he goes, "Yeah, he's the only one that knows we're here, so they're in on it. So we're made. We really are deep, pal." Because he says pal a lot, right? And then I like their little plan that he thinks off the top of his head. He's like, "Okay, we're going to take the boat. We're going to leave. We're going to go up for a couple miles. When it goes dark, we're going to come back because this is where Tubbs is like, yeah, I got a meeting with her tonight because, it was referenced when they got there that there's a party, a festival going on in the evening. And that's where people wear masks and all that kind of stuff there too." He's like, "Okay, so you got to meet her." He's like, "Yeah, we got to move fast, but pal," or whatever. So that's it. I think it's a good setup, right? It gives you a sense of, okay, it's leading somewhere here into the end of the episode.
How old did we say these guys were in 84? Like mid 30s?
They're the actors themselves.
Yeah, the actors themselves. Almost 40. Close to 40. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, because that's the thing. That's the thing about television back then. People looked a lot older.
They did, and they looked more mature. I mean, Don Johnson looks great for 70s. That he's right now. He's like 75 to 80 in that age.
Nash Bridges, he was 60.
Yeah. And so you look here with the slick back stuff. I mean, you can get different product in your hair to kind of make it look wet. And then you look at like Tubbs, he's got some English ancestry, German in him and all that. His eyes, he's a phenomenal. They're both phenomenally good looking men. And I say as a heterosexual, happily married man, but if you look at his hair, it just looks natural. And again, they're outside, they got the sun on, they look real. You know what I'm saying? And the clothes, it's not so sanitized today where you don't see anything. So it's interesting because a good shave and some lotion on your face, and you can look really shiny and young like they did here. So I'm sure they only had a few minutes or a few takes to get this right before it either be too light or too dark or whatever to get it. I mean, so that's the hard part about filming live and like outside.
Do you know the funny thing? In high school, I had friends that slicked their hair back like Don Johnson, and I had one who, and then they dressed like also. I had another one like I'm like he did the same thing, but I'm like he looked more like Zito.
But slick back hair was a big deal, and a part of it comes from not just Scarface, but the whole idea that if you're what we would call the old school Italian on Wall Street look, which is that's your black dark suits with pinstripes. That's a certain Guido kind of look, the Italian look, and so you would slick back the hair. And then Pat Riley from the Lakers at this time had already won championships, and they're having the best rivalry some consider of all time, myself included, with the Celtics. He wore suits. And he felt like you should do that, and you would slick back your hair, and everybody copied that Pat Riley look. Even Wall Street with Michael Douglas was 86, 87, 88, whenever that movie came out. He said, yeah, I took that from Pat Riley. This was definitely a look in the 80s that was there. It really was
early 90s.
Yeah, I think it went into the 90s too, Pete, right?
Yeah. All right. Then we get to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Just kidding. Earthquake. That's always reminds me when I see these
sandstorm.
Like something's gonna happen, and of course, these guys have got this nice, rich patio, beachfront property, and he's got the little canopy, outside, for the
wraparound porches in tropical locations are a thing, and were designed that way here in the South back in the day. Seriously,
I'm just thinking
the ventilation of the airflow. Yeah.
The thing is, though, I look at this stuff, and I've seen videos of all these other places where like the water eventually just erodes away the cliffs and the lines. I'm thinking like these islands, I don't know how long they'll be there.
Well, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, though, I just love it because like it's like normally this would be a drone shot today. This is a helicopter shot, and as the car was moving, I just took a still of it though. But it looks like it does look like you're just seeing a toy car driving up in a model.
And one question we'll have to ask ourselves later as we talk more in reference, oh, this is a nice looking drone shot. Do we think the very smooth drone shots are better than helicopter shots?
No.
And that's just a question I'm going to plant in your brain for now. Because there's something about this being a helicopter shot that makes it look better than a drone. Maybe. I don't know.
I'll just say this, for most drone shots, they're fisheye lenses kind of like thing. They look a little curved, where these look normal. These look straight, you know.
That's an interesting observation. Yeah, this is where Tubbs is going to see her a little bit early instead of meeting her at the party. You know, because when you're a young woman and you're dating an older man, usually you meet the girl at the place that you're having the function at the date, you know, before she decides to speak with you.
So
but he's meeting her ahead of time because he's pressed for time.
Yep. So he goes to meet the Virgin Mary. Sorry. Or Ewok. We would prefer. She's got her hair, and because she has no hair, so she's wearing this for some reason. I don't know why.
Did you like her hairstyle?
You know what it reminded me of? I think her name's Natalie Reno, the one that's from VIP.
Okay.
She's the short hair and the black hair. Kind of reminded me of her at first.
Some girls had the style back in the day.
I wasn't really a bad fan of a short hair like this because like you're just a boy. I don't like the boy haircuts really much. Yeah. You know, I've seen her though, and she's older now. Mm-hmm. She let her hair grow out longer.
Yep.
But I don't know per religion or whatever it's up, but it's like your hair is that short, you know. But I had a friend growing up. His mom had her hair short this, and I kept thinking, it's like, why is your hair cut so short? It's like, are you just lazy? You don't want to wash your hair?
There's stylistic choices. I don't think there's that one for her, but here's the thing: it really made it stand out. Not so much, I think, that you're looking at her face, but or her hair, but you're looking at her face because her face she's just gorgeous. She's stunning. Actually, the haircut could be a distraction, I think, but I think it did the right thing because she wasn't like a household name at the time or whatever, right? So it's to make you realize she's privileged in a way. She's not just a female. You know what I'm saying?
So first, we get this softcore scene starting here, like we always do in this late 70s, early 80s.
You're leaving early.
Got the hedonistic music playing in the background. You know, the ocean.
That's right. Yeah. Waves of pleasure rolling over our body.
Yeah, there you go.
The sun is setting down on the death of what's going to be what we find out is your father here in just a moment.
and then we get the sunrise and stuff. You know, it's just like, hey, yeah. All it's missing was like the ocean crashing and then seeing like a geyser blow.
Exactly right. Exactly right. But this is how you shoot sex. You don't have to show the act, just intimate it because they're staring at each other, and it's a very good seduction scene because that's kind of the reality of how it goes with the intense eye contact, the looking down in a way and everything, and then the close falling off by the feet, and then of course the rubbing each other like that, which nobody does after you make love. You usually go like get a sandwich or something, right? Or you have her do it. So this
and then we get the gel bed sheets. No.
Oh, I didn't think of it like that. Here's the thing. This what I thought was interesting because he sleeps with her. He's attracted to her. Obviously, they're attracted to each other. He's already told her she's leaving. They're having a conversation and all that. This is the afterglow, as they like to call it, where they're just kind of checking each other out. And then he reaches over and he has to work her into it because they're supposed to be going to this thing. So he sees this photo and he's like, hey, he's like making light of it. He's like, I guess he's not simping. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I should feel jealous about your older boyfriend here or like that, right? Oh, that's not. I'm not his girlfriend. That's my father. And then it hits him like a ton of bricks. Oh shit! I just with Calderone's daughter.
So they end up going to this party after he meets you. Like, I'll meet you later. Got the party thing, and Crockett's gonna sit at the bar. So he goes out, meets with her, and he looks over. Crockett's gone because the guy came up with a machine gun. Yep. Blew him onto the boat, or it was a boat or the house. I think it was the house.
It's the house.
Yeah. And he's got Crockett tied up. He's gonna kill Crockett stuff because he knows you are. It's like then of course Tubbs shows up and he's like, and she's like, no, Dad. It's like, it's like, he's like, go leave. He's like, you should leave Angela. It's like, it's your father. Because basically Tubbs had pulled her aside on the beach and kind of the elder. He's like, I don't know what you're saying. It's like, I don't believe you. He lies. Your father's a wanted criminal and stuff, blah, blah. And she's having a PTSD.
Nuclear on each other.
Yes.
George Bush,
yes.
Right? I thought it was great.
He didn't slap her or anything, but he went physically was yelling at her. It's like, it's like, how stupid can you be? It's like, quit the act. And they come to the house. And now this is where it gets interesting because there actually is they edited the death scene apparently.
Okay.
On this.
Talk to me about that.
Apparently on
what I saw, and I assume it's what you saw, because I'm watching the Blu-ray version. You have the DVD version, so I don't know which version's accurate.
I'm watching the DVD collection, and every version of this pretty much is changed except for the actual airing of it.
Okay.
They cut basically. So what happened here is
they get ready to shoot Sonny.
Yes.
He pops up with a shotgun here.
Yes.
Shotgun, I guess.
So they cut off the dance of death, which is basically called, basically where Calderone is gonna pull a gun, and then of course, after basically the guy took Tubbs tells him he's going to put the guns down, but the guy he ends up shooting one of the guys who goes to grab for his gun again. Mm-hmm. Calderone pulls out a gun, and then you get to see very much Crockett grabs a machine gun, shoots Calderone. Calderone starts doing a little mariachi dance, almost falling backwards, and
is that right?
Yeah, and then he falls over. Now that's and you'll never see that unless you look on actual YouTube clip, which I found.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Yeah, which I did here. There's a link. I'll put a link in for you guys to actually go look at it on after we're done. But and this is also a link I sent to you before. On YouTube.
Oh, the one backstage. Okay, I'll have to check
yeah, the YouTube link. This is actually the link right here. It shows him actually he's dancing as he's getting riddled by him. But you would do if you got shot by machine gun fire. You stumble backwards and
Well, yeah, because here's the whole thing about this episode to me. This last scene, there was the one action chase scene, right? Whatever, but to me, this is anticlimactic and it's completely fine because Calderone's there with his two hitmen talking about he's welcoming. He's interested in going back to Miami.
Yeah.
He's worth $40+ million or whatever. Not bad for a guy that didn't graduate 4th grade. And there's really not much to him. Like, we don't get a backstory or anything. He's just rather nonplussed. You're just another cop to me, judges and all that. And the only thing Sonny says is something along the lines of like, well, even like fat cats burn or get caught or whatever. And so you would think there'd be this big, long, extended shootout. But again, the episode is not about that. It's really about Tubbs because she brings Tubbs there. And she's pleading, and she's still in denial in a way because she's a young woman. She doesn't believe any of this stuff, and it's that I think it says a lot about Calderone and maybe his lack of a better term, his Latin background, his faith, because he shielded his daughter from ever knowing that he was involved in anything dirty. That tells you in a way how professional of a drug dealer is. Plus, we didn't see much of him, and he doesn't come across someone that blows you away. That I think is the genius of what they did here with Calderone, because he, Tubbs and Crockett are just other cops to him.
His interactions are he never yelled at her, never he was treated with respect.
Absolutely right. He was just a dad, right?
So in every scene except for the actual original airing, they cut it out. So when he gets shot, he's sitting up on the ground, and then he falls backwards like this. That's the edited one. In original, he's standing up, he gets shot, and he falls, and then he backwards, and he has his arms flying up above him, and then he falls backwards, and he goes,
It was very.
I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it's unusual looking, but it reminded me of what we spent a few minutes talking about at the beginning of the episode with the not unusual camera angles, but the camera angles that made the interrogation feel uncomfortable. Because here, yeah, I mean, the guy falls in, you might have your blood packet things or whatever. And I know
Yes.
Crockett fires a lot of bullets, but the fact that he just kind of like falls back and his head goes underwater, I'm like, and he doesn't fall in the pool. That to me, I watched it a second time. I was like, yeah, he doesn't fall in the pool. Like,
He doesn't slip in. He just lays there kind of
yeah,
like.
it's really awkward looking. And I thought that made me feel a little bit, I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah. And had it been a dummy laying there, it would have been floating.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. Usually it's like, they fall backwards and they're just dead like that. But for whatever reason, they didn't. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing. They decided let's not let's cut out where his arm was like this and he's getting shot and he falls backwards.
They intentionally, I think, tried not to put any emotional significance to his death other than, okay, Calderone gets shot, Calderone falls back, doesn't quite fall in the pool, and just lays there, end scene. Because the story in the episode's not about Calderone dying or them getting revenge.
Yeah.
It's about what Tubbs had to go through to kind of supposedly find peace or whatever there too. And so you don't need to have the big shootout or the action sequences. And I think this, for me, my final thought on this episode was I liked the first one a lot because the as we talked about at length, the guy that was responsible for all the shooting stuff in Michael Mann films, the guy who acted as the sniper, the gun guy, phenomenal, very kind of scary. I keep thinking of the telephone scene, and then here, I think Tubbs is where he gets to shine emotionally and all that, and he's not a punk or a bitch. He's a legit guy, and I liked at the end. He's like, hey, they're standing there at the car. It wasn't supposed to be this way, and that's it, basically.
Reading up on this, I'm again on the fandom right now. I just came across as interesting. I did not know this. So Chris Crockett's wearing a red flowery shirt in the Bahamas, while Angelina also wears a red dress on the beach. This marks the episode of one of the very few times the color appears in the show. Red was one of the colors Michael Mann banned from use on the production series. In fact, several of the guests at the beach party wear costumes that violate Mann's no earth tones rule. It is possible the lapse in this instance was to instill a different feel to the Caribbean set story.
Yeah, in the 70s, there's I talked about this on our Columbo streams that we talked about because it was filmed in the late 60s, early 70s, most of it. About how we talk about like the style and the fashion with every episode with the detective, but there's a big push in the 70s of like human performance, like trying to be a better person and all that. And so for women entering the workplace with the feminist movement moving on, there was like, well, what color are you? Like there's colors for men, colors for women, how you dress and stuff. And so some people say, oh, you're a winter, you're a summer, you should wear these colors because they complement your skin tones and depends on your ethnicity and stuff. And it was interesting because the thing with Miami Vice going with pastels is they wanted those beach type colors that you would wear on vacation, and it's not something you would wear in normal attire. So earth tones, which a lot of people would wear, they didn't. And you and I've mentioned this briefly with 90s stuff. They totally killed off any sort of color, and they went mostly with plaid and just loose baggy stuff, and it was all mopey in the 90s. So again, this show's very fashion oriented, and so when he says no earth tones, and all that, it does feel kind of weird to see this. It's like a blood colored red.
Yeah. This is one of 3 episodes that do not feature the Miami Vice theme over the closing edits, the others being Phil the Shill and the series finale Free Fall. Episode it also does not end in a freeze frame like most of them do.
And Tina Turner just had a hit that they played or was going to be a hit this year of What's Love Got to Do with when they're, like you said, on the boat driving back after the episode.
So when they originally aired on October 26, 1984, they said the announcer spoke over the end credits saying, NBC is proud to announce that Miami Vice has been picked up for a full season. That's odd. Watching a show and hearing that, I guess that's what they did back then.
Yeah, you never got a full run. You got picked up for a certain amount of episodes, a pilot, and if the pilot tested well, you got a few episodes, and you would be there for reruns or the summer season before the fall season. So this thing only got popular much later in after its first run due to it. And honestly, Friday night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern, whatever it was that it showed, who's home then? You had 3 or 4 major TV things. But this thing got so popular, I'm telling you, man, this thing was massive, and it's only beginning. Season 2 and 3, my goodness, Jesus, how big they got.
Right. So, all right. So I guess on Tuesday we're gonna start a new TV series. You want to do that?
Either the TV series, or depending on if you watch it, the brand new movie, Alan Rickson movie, that's basically like Predator 2026, called War Machine I believe on Netflix.
So Taylor Sheridan dropped a new TV series.
Oh, the Madison.
Yes.
I see. Okay. It would be, I think they dropped the first 3 episodes, correct?
First 3 episodes dropped, the Madison. So I'm probably gonna go with that.
Let's do that then.
Yeah. And see how we'll test drive it. See if it's good. We want to continue with it after 3 episodes. Otherwise, if we decide not to, next Tuesday will be the Predator ripoff.
Gotcha. I hope it's as good as Landman, because we review that here on the Extreme Movie Show. And
Matthew Fox here, Kurt Russell, Michelle Pfeiffer. It looks like a widowed. I haven't watched anything, but what I'm getting is I've seen some stills. It looks like a widow moved her kids out to somewhere from New York.
I don't know. Back to nature, very pastoral.
Yes, sir. Yes. So it's Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer's still hot.
She's really cute.
Yeah, and
I'm not watching anything with Kurt Russell.
Taylor Sheridan. So I'm expecting it to be as cool. Probably not as crass as Landman. I think it's going to be more like the Duttons. Original Yellowstone. Okay. Might be like that. If it's a Western.
I'm certainly interested in it. And it's nice to see that you can have older actors get some screen time or not just be like a side character thing. That is one of the interesting things that I do like.
I never in a million years thought I would see Harrison Ford on a TV series show.
Me either. But he loves it, and he says shrinking is the last thing he wants to do. And he's in his 80s. Look, one day you and I are going to review not Harrison Ford, but him and Michelle Pfeiffer in Tequila Sunrise. We just haven't got to it.
Exciting news. Arnold Schwarzenegger has announced that they're finally going to do King Conan. We're going to get the 3rd Conan movie, where it's supposed to be Conan in like his much older years. In that book, 40 years went by since the original Conan, movie and all that stuff. And this is in Marvel Comics, where he becomes complacent and becomes king, and then the people turn on him. So he has to pretty much to fight for his life. He also said he's doing another Predator movie. Fuck yeah. So maybe we'll get the original. We have Predator and Predator 2. So I think we're actually get our actual Predator 2. And if it is Predator 2 and ignores everything after that, I'm good.
Did you watch the recent Predator movie?
I don't watch any of them. I've seen clips of Prey, but I said after seeing Predator 2, the only one I liked is the one with Olivia Munn. Because it was a comedy, it wasn't really a thing, but I said but the only Predator movie is the first movie.
Well, the interesting thing about King Conan is Christopher McQuarrie, I believe, has been commissioned to write it. And I don't know if he's going to direct it, but he's
been involved in a lot of
stuff and Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
that's primetime A+, bro.
Yes, so I'm excited for that. And no, he said these movies are not being written for a guy in his 40s. It's not going to be like you think it is. It's written for age appropriate.
Correct.
So don't expect him to be like Indiana Jones running around.
No.
I've
always said since Conan, one of my favorite movies of all time, I've always wanted to see King Conan, and I hope this comes true. It can get written. There's no filming date. It's not been produced yet.
No,
they could say it's a go, but I've heard talks for this for 20 years now, maybe even longer. So let's cross our fingers and hope.
So we got that, and then they announced that Firefly is going to come back with the original cast doing the anime thing for Disney. Sorry, it's gonna flop. People have cut out, especially if it's on Disney Plus. People have cut out from Disney Plus. They don't want to care for that crap anymore. We'll see though. I think Arnold could still draw in theaters.
Oh, here's hoping. They got to do the campaign right. Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for showing up tonight. Thank you for retweeting the stream out so more people are finding out who we are here on the Extreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob. RDB here with me tonight, going over my device. We'll be doing that every Sunday for season 1 until that's over. We call it Miami Nights. That's our stream for it too. We are live Tuesday. And also, we're going to be live Wednesday night doing season 4, episode 6, I believe, the last episode of Columbo, the young 20-something Professor Pixel and I here on Extreme Movie Show. If you have any particular movies, thoughts, suggestions that you'd like us to tackle and review live, let us know. We're not really hate watchers. We tell you what we think works, don't works, what we like, don't like, and all that. We do it raw without really researching and everything else there too. And that is our gimmick, as it were, there too. So for RDV, I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Good night now.
Take it easy, guys. See you on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.